Divers are in the waters of Biscayne National Park and out to solve a mystery almost 2 centuries old. They're searching for a rare find here, a ship carrying slaves to the Americas that sank in 1827. The National Park Service hopes to strike what would be an historical gold mine right here in South Florida. Here's NBC6's Willard Shepard with the hunt for the Guerrero.
National Park Service archaeologist Joshua Morano has his writing tablet clutched in his arms when he heads underwater. He doesn't want to miss documenting a moment in his search for something no one has been able to find for 200 years. That something? The slave ship Guerrero.
A significant story in South Florida that hasn't really been told. A pirate slave ship that was carrying 561 enslaved Africans across from Africa in 1827.
In the 1820s, slavery was still legal in the U.S. Pirates brought slaves across the Atlantic because both the U.S. and Great Britain had outlawed transporting them. A British warship, the Nimble, out on a mission to stop pirates, spotted the Guerrero off the South Florida coastline and started to attack. In trying to get away, the Guerrero ran aground and eventually sank. The British ship did too, but no one has been able to determine exactly where it happened. We were with Josh and Rosenstiel School of Marine Science archaeologist Fritz Hanselman as they headed to inspect a location southeast of Homestead.
The possibility of finding a shipwreck like the Guerrero is highly significant. There have only been 2 identified slave shipwrecks in the archaeological record to date, which makes the Guerrero and the possibility of its discovery of extreme importance.
The National Park Service divers and the other researchers started out with about 1,000 linear miles to search. They've done about half of that, and now they have about 500 what they call anomalies to take a look at to see if that leads them to the Guerrero. They use an underwater metal detector pulled behind a boat that alerts them where to look. They'll sometimes use a device that clears the sand. The divers scan the bottom and come across what may have been a rib in the hull of a vessel. They mark these locations and bag items they can bring on land to investigate.
So one of the sites that we found was an actual dump of cannonballs and other heavy objects.
It's a challenging effort, fighting nature along the way.
The problem is that as shipwrecks sit underwater, they tend to eventually kind of work to become one with their environment. They reach equilibrium. And so corals grow over them, they kind of degrade. They become very difficult to differentiate and identify individual features.
While it looks the same to the average eye, the quest to know more motivates these researchers.
The ones that we're looking for provide us with a physical connection to our past and allow us to actually interact with those that preceded us and learn more about them.
As for those enslaved on the Guerrero when it sank, 41 of them died. The others were taken to Cuba after the pirates hijacked 2 vessels that came to help. The searches can produce results like this wreck not far away that has been preserved. The hope is one day the Guerrero will look like this for all to see, too. In Biscayne National Park, Willard Shepard, NBC6 News.